What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jack Rabbit here, back with, as I said, I'm talking Backlash. All right, Angel's here too, but she's reading. So, and I'm talking wrestling. She doesn't care about wrestling, but it's just little old me. Really? Please, she's in a goofy mode today. Okay, it's just little old me. Nobody else. Hey, stop that. Just kidding, guys. Billy's here too. Billy Goat's here too. Hey, stop that!
Wet Willie! Wet Willie!
No, she's trying to poke me in the head. Hey, at least she's not poking me in the side, which would be worse. So we're going to talk Backlash. As I said in our video from yesterday, if you have not watched that, please go back and watch that. That's talking about a unfortunate legend passing away. That's all I will say. Go back and watch that. Now she's throwing... Guys, look at what she is doing. She's threatening me with a pen.
The pen is mightier than the penis. I mean, the sword.
Billy! Okay, we did do a short reaction on Billy's channel. Billy's TikTok, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I will try to keep the language down from that video. That's all I will say about that one.
37 F-bombs.
It wasn't 37. It was like 5, but still.
But
I had some strong language. Let's just say that.
Yeah, fiddle-dee-dee.
I was tired last night. Okay, everybody?
Before we get into the show, we were live in St. Louis for that one.
Yes, we were actually there in the arena. And that crowd was hot. Hey, anybody from St. Louis see this video? Let's do that more often.
You know, though, when you say that, I talked to a guy that was from Iowa, and it was his first time ever coming to an event. He drove 5 hours. They got in like Thursday just to be at that event. So a lot of people I talked to, there were people sitting next to us. One of the guys there, it was his first event, but the friend that made the Cena sign, he was the one that talked him into going. He had never been to a show before. So I think there was a lot of people just really into it. And let's be honest, we've been at St. Louis where the crowd is dead. So the crowd needed to show they could be loud in order to get more shows in St. Louis, I think.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm not disagreeing with you there. But let's get into the actual show itself. First match of the night. They started off with a banger.
Yeah, they did. What started at 6 o'clock, so it started right at 6.
Yeah, it started pretty much on time, but start off with a banger. We had the Fatal 4-Way for the United States title. You had LA Knight. Yeah. A little late on that one, by the way.
There's a delay a little bit, like with the internet.
Gotcha.
Sometimes I don't actually hear what you say, and it like doesn't match what you're saying on the screen.
Gotcha. All right, well, as I was saying, so LA Knight. Damian Priest.
BDSM Undertaker.
I was setting you up for that one. Drew McIntyre. Don't forget Angela with him. Yes, exactly. The Master of the Claymore. Funny story on how he came up with the Claymore. Ain't telling it. Maybe another time, guys. Maybe another time.
We'll do another time. All right.
And, of course, Jacob Fatu, the current champion, in a fatal 4-way. That match was a banger. I mean, you had that, oh, gosh. That, oh, God, I don't even want to, that front throw off the, suplex, off the top rope from Drew McIntyre from the Tweeter Woe position to
yes, yeah,
Jacob Fatu. I would have called that a suplex. I just would have called that a toss. But either way, that was sick. And Jacob Fatu basically no-sold that bitch.
I wanted to say
there's a bad word already.
As they were coming out with the entrances, I had said to Jack, I said, these entrances feel longer in person, but it's because I was realizing what it is, because you have commentators talking about the stories and the match and the wrestlers as they come to the ring. It doesn't feel as long, but it felt like forever. But I will say, LA Knight got probably the biggest pop of these four as far as like because he has the LA Night, yeah, thing going, and the fans are
Yeah.
getting back behind him again because he did come down a little bit, but now he's starting to come back up again.
Yeah, he didn't really lose much
No.
momentum, which is good.
And
Uh,
Fatu, the fans like
yeah.
Fatu as well.
Oh, yeah. As I said, I don't I joked, when we saw Jacob come out because I didn't see Solo. I'm like, "Where's Solo? Where's Solo?"
He wasn't
Well, we find
drinking,
out what
dude.
Solo was.
He wasn't drinking, though. Why would he have a solo if he wasn't drinking?
No, he didn't have a red Solo cup. I'm talking about the Usos' little bitch boy of a brother.
But can we say people sleep on LA Knight? When he does that move off the ropes where he, like, jumps up and does he shouldn't be able to do that at his age,
Mm,
but he
or
does.
his size.
Or
Let's
his
not forget
size,
that
yeah.
either.
He's like,
'Cause
what, 240?
I
250? Something like that? 240, 250? But the fact that Knight can get onto the ropes like that just shows you how good he is in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I remember him even in his TNA days. He's 42 years old. His build weight is 134 pounds.
no, that can't be right.
He's only 5'2".
LA Knight's not 134 pounds.
No, he's only 5'2". He's not that tall. I got to
No,
pull it up right here.
LA Knight, yeah.
As I said, I got to pull it up right here.
He's
He's
only
only
5'2". It said he's
5'2". He
six
just
foot
look.
one. I got 6'1" for LA Knight. He's
Let me
built
see
at six
that.
foot one, and he's 229 pounds. So I was off.
Yeah.
That is on the Wikipedia. That's why
Yeah, you
it's
got to be
wrong.
careful with Wikipedia.
Because if he was only 5'2", he's shorter than Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it says
5'2".
LA Knight. When I looked up, it said he's 6'1" is his build height, and he's built at 229.
Yeah, I think somebody was boo-boo in there.
Wikipedia, anybody can update that. They probably just don't like him, so they've changed his height. There's no way he's
Yeah.
134 pounds either.
But no, even Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre they had some sick moments. Their finish for the match, under Damian Priest had to strip off his straps. I don't know why wrestlers do that sometimes. Never understood it. Never understood when
I
Kurt
thought
Angle
he
used
was
to do it.
going for Razor's Edge. That's what I thought he was doing.
No, Razor Edge has not been a finisher for him for quite a while. He
But
uses
no,
it
to
more
throw him
like a
off of
signature. Yeah, I know. That would have made more sense than doing the South of Heaven's chokeslam.
which they're saying Drew legitimately
But
might have gotten injured, so they're looking into a possible injury.
yeah, I saw that. I didn't see what the injury was though. So hopefully he's not seriously injured from that. But either way,
I look
ow!
forward to watching
Because
that
there was
back
no
because
crash
where
pad.
we were sitting, we couldn't see the full spot because we were flat on the ground and there was a lot of people in front of us, so you couldn't see.
Yeah,
And for some reason, people wanted to stand the whole time, so you actually didn't get to see a whole lot. So we had to look at the monitors.
yeah,
For that match, that spot though, anytime they do those spots is always crazy. But that took those two out, so it came down to LA Knight and Jacob Fatu in the ring.
yeah. And it looked like LA Knight was going to win. He was going to do the elbow on top of the announce table.
Yes.
But then, guess who shows his ugly mug? Solo. As I said, I was wondering where his butt was. And then we had a surprise appearance from one Jacob Cobb. Now, Billy did not know who he was.
I had heard the name, but I
It
didn't
took me
know
a
anything
minute.
about
Yeah, it took him a minute to realize who it was. Because at first I thought, who is that? Thought for a second it might have been Jacob, working back up. Then I just saw the blue jeans, so I knew it wasn't Jacob. I thought it might have been Bronson. Because we have no idea
I
when his
thought
butt's going to be back.
he kind of looked like Rhino a little bit. I knew it wasn't Rhino, but he
Yeah, he
kind of had that
does.
look, the build of Rhino.
Yeah.
I thought it
And
was Team
then,
Rhino, and I was wrong. It was not Team
yeah,
Rhino.
I know everyone's making that jokes now on Facebook now. Timu Rhino. Yeah, get in the ring with him and call him that. Let's see what happens. I don't do that, people. Don't do that.
No, but,
But
Fatu retained, and he looked mad, like, when he
yeah,
looked back at
he
Solo,
looked
and he
pissed.
did.
Well, he told now Billy doesn't get a chance to watch SmackDown because he doesn't have cable of any kind, so he didn't get to see SmackDown.
No.
He told Solo on SmackDown to stay out of his business. He was going to handle that himself. So he's not happy with Solo at this current moment in time.
I see Fatu and Solo at SummerSlam for the title.
Me too. Because Fatu does not need Solo. Solo needs Fatu, but Fatu does not need Solo.
Is it safe to say, though, all 4 of the men in this match are really good in the ring, and they have their own fan bases, but I think Fatu, for his first pin or submission loss, is gonna get cheated and maybe lose to Solo because they're gonna be pushing him to the moon eventually. I just see it happening in the next year or 2. I see Jacob becoming a main eventer.
Oh, yeah, I can see that too. The way he moves in the ring, the way he. I don't see that with Solo. I don't. I mean, mid card titles, maybe. If he gets that.
If they can build the feud properly, let's say Solo is the one that beats Fatu with help, then maybe
Yeah.
down the road, Fatu takes him on again in the main event scene. I could see that down the road, but they're going to have to build Solo more. I'm more convinced when I look at Jacob Fatu, there's a reason why they call him the Samoan werewolf. That man, the things he can do for his size and his ability, like the little boogeyman shimmy he does,
Oh, yeah.
that's really cool. Like he just is so different from anybody else on the roster right now. I see Jacob becoming a main eventer here pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. He's got a unique style. All of his own. All right, let's move on to the match next so we're not talking all night long.
Yeah.
Which next match was.
Match 2 would have been Lyra defending.
Oh, yeah, okay. The one match that actually surprised me on the show, like I didn't call the finish,
Me
which was
either.
Lyra retaining over Becky Lynch for the women's IC title.
Going into this, I thought this was going to be the one belt that was going to change hands and go. I thought Becky was going to get it. And I was
Oh
kind of
yeah, I
mad because
thought
I was like, if
I was
Becky
thinking Becky
won,
because she's had that belt for a good little while. What? Good few months. And with her being first champion, I could have saw them giving it to Becky very easily, but no. I mean, Becky hit Lyra with everything. More than one manhandle slam. Not to mention a turnbuckle that she took
the
off.
jab to the eye.
The jab to the eye, and that led to the finish. One thing I did not like from the fans last night, guys, is okay. So Jessica Carr was trying to put the turnbuckle pad back on, the exposed turnbuckle, like she's supposed to, and they were going for a pin at that moment, and the
Lyra
crowd
was.
started chanting, "Ref, you suck." I'm sorry. No, she was trying to do her job. That happens all the time.
Yeah, but the priority should always be the pinfall. You can put the buckle on
Yeah.
later.
Well, she did go to the pinfall as soon as she saw the pinfall.
But that delay allowed Becky to stay in it, and I
Yeah.
thought that's what was going to give Becky. I will say this: the crowd was slow
Oh,
at the
this
start to
match,
get
they
into
weren't
this
as
match.
high. I don't know if they were just tired or the beer hadn't kicked in yet or
No, no,
whatever
they
it
weren't
was.
tired. They weren't tired. It was only like 6:30 something. It was still
I
early at
know, I know, I
night.
know.
So
Well, I think
it's
the beer just didn't kick in yet or
no,
something
no,
after
no, no,
that
no. I
last match.
think
I don't know.
no, 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 no,
I'm
no, no,
making
no.
jokes over here.
I can tell you what it actually is. The fans, for some reason, don't always get into the women's wrestling. They don't,
Yeah.
even though you have Becky, who was the first female to win the main event of Mania. She is a star, but Lyra needed the win here because she is still getting going with her reign. She can cut a promo. She is so damn good in the ring. She impresses me every time. She's won me over as a fan because of how good she is in the ring. The thing is that I think Lyra, they made this match. People said it was too long. I think what it was, they were trying to see, can we get the fans into this match. And I was trying my hardest to get a Let's Go Lyra chant. And finally it took off. People started doing it. But like it was back and forth. And then Becky would do her heel stuff. And then Lyra would make a little comeback. And then Becky would try to cheat. And then Lyra would make her comeback. But I honestly thought Becky would win and face Bayley. And Bayley would go for the title. But now it's looking like it's going to be Becky and Bayley non-title matchup at some point.
Yeah.
Lyra needed the win, though. What did you think of the match itself?
It was good. There was one spot where we were a little confused because, of course, when you're in the audience, when you're there in person, you can't hear the commentators. They were over in one of the corners. I think it was a corner, but they were by the rail, and Becky Lynch had Lyra against the railing, the barricade. Sorry, barricade, not railing. Sorry, guys, I said the wrong thing. Barricade. And she was jack-jawing with something. I told Billy, was it you that I told, or was it Viper that I told? I think that might have been. No, it was you. I said that, I think that might have been Lyra's fiance, who's an NXT wrestler. It was.
Yeah.
Which made more sense why she was jack-jawing with him, and they were focusing on it. Because
I want to go back and watch the show because when you're there, you don't get to hear the commentary.
Yeah,
sometimes you see a lot of it, except for on the monitor. So I know it's a different experience being there, and it was cool. But I want to go back and watch it with the commentary so I can hear the full story they're telling, so I know what's going on for the next show. So that's the thing is, I know we missed some of the stories because there's some angles they could be going. I see Bayley going against Becky and somebody else coming after Lyra now. I don't know who at this point, but I think there's going to be a new challenger for her. But Lyra is the most, we made this comment, she's the most fighting champion right now. She's defended the belt multiple times.
Six counting that. That was her sixth defense of that title.
Yeah, because she beat Dakota to win it. Then she defended Dakota once. She defended it against Ivy Nile, Raquel, Bayley, Becky.
Nope. One more. There was one more in there. I think she defended it against Dakota one more time.
No, she won against Dakota, and then she defended once.
I said I think she defended it one more time. Because I know she had 5 defenses going into last night. So last night was her 6th.
I counted 4 because she fought Dakota twice, but one was for the inaugural championship. Yeah. And then Dakota beat Ivy for the number 1 contender. They faced off one more time. So she beat her to win the title.
You might be right there. My math might be off. I'm still a little, but yeah. But yeah.
But anyways, regardless, she's had the belt for a while, and I'm glad because honestly, I think if she can hold that belt till SummerSlam, I think she'll have a hell of a SummerSlam match.
Oh, heck yeah.
She hasn't fought Liv yet.
Yep, she hasn't fought Liv yet, but we don't know when Liv's going to be back from her movie yet.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dollar General. The Dollar General movie, guys. Yeah, the Dollar General movie they're making, I think.
Funny. I did hear what the movie was, but I don't remember on top of my head.
It wasn't a big name movie like she said it was.
I think it was like an A24 movie, actually.
But it wasn't like a Jurassic World or like a Marvel.
No. She'd be gone a whole lot longer for the movies like that.
But, I thought it was going to be the reason why they got rid of self-checkout Dollar General. It was going to be because of those little booty shorts she wears. That would distract anybody, right?
That is true.
No, but Lyra won me over. She wins the match here. The crowd was booing the hell out of Becky when she was doing heel. Our friend Viper was torn because Becky's his favorite. And
Becky,
Lyra,
he loves Becky.
Jack and I were both going for Lyra.
Of course.
And it was so cool. I forgot to tell you the story. When I went, I'm trying to think when it happened. When I was on my way down to meet you guys, I was in line for nachos, which they were great, but it was like 15, 20 minutes.
Nachos!
So when I was in line for nachos, I get my food and I come downstairs. And as I'm coming down, I had this lady look at me and say, "Nice, awesome shirt." And I was wearing my Roxanne Perez, and I look up at her. She's wearing a Roxanne Perez shirt, and she just gives me a fist bump. And that's what's so cool about wrestling, because you meet people who like the same wrestlers as you. And it was just cool because Roxanne is is my favorite women's wrestler now, because they released my actual favorite,
Dakota.
So I will say, and I did read, they said Dakota's release was a shock. They're hoping AEW picks her up. That's the talks right now. But I was cool to see that fan and talk to her about Roxanne. But anyways, Lyra's awesome. We're just starting to see what she can do, and now I understand what the hype is behind her. And I think that's why they put her on TV a lot, is to get her over. But this was my favorite match of the night as far as like from a wrestling perspective when it comes to like moves and kickouts, and that was actually my favorite match when it comes to like they were able to go in the ring.
Oh yeah, all right. Let's get on to the next match,
Match 3.
which is we had Penta challenging the Chicken Tender champion Dominic Mysterio.
Thanks for correcting me, by the way, because I said Chicken Tender King and you said no.
It's champion.
I got
And
it.
yes, I was singing the Dirty
Sorry.
Dom chant. I was one of the people singing the Dirty Dom chant. I like Penta,
Hey,
but it's not,
I was doing it too. I have no
it's
problems with Dirty
Dom's.
Dom.
What do you think the deal with Dom is? Because remember when he came in, he was a plain baby face with his dad, and he had to form his own identity. We had talked about that he needed to form his own
I
identity.
think he's getting a little bit of the Eddie rub, where he's getting into a similar situation to what happened with Eddie. Was he was a heel and did the heel antics, but everybody just starts to love him for it. You know, the
They could.
whole lie, cheat, and steal thing.
Do you think they could go that route with him and give him a fun heel character
Yeah,
where he gets cheered even more?
yeah, yeah. Well, eventually just turns him face. Yeah, they very well choose, but they've got to embrace it, which Triple H has no problem doing. If this was Vince and we started to cheer him, he would just still let Dom be that dirty heel.
Well,
And
that's the thing, though.
yeah,
Here's the thing
Triple
that's
H, no, it may take him a little bit of time because he has to set up the right story. He's got to finish his stories he's got going.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's not going to be long before Dom's a face. Or, kind of like an Eddie kind of style. Not,
Yeah. Yeah,
he's going to
exactly.
stop the whole deadbeat dad storyline because let's
Sorry,
be
I
honest.
was finishing the story.
Really? Really?
No, you're
Bad
right,
joke.
though. With Dom, what I noticed was fun last night. I'm a big Penta fan too. Penta's amazing. But these two have great chemistry. What I found interesting is Dom's cheered, but whenever his other teammates come out, they get booed.
Yeah.
But Dom still gets cheered. And
Yeah.
Dom was getting hella reactions last night.
Oh,
And it
he
was just so
was.
much fun to
Like,
watch him because he earned it. He earned it. It wasn't just 1 week, 2 weeks. He's earned this.
oh,
And
yeah, no, he's been.
have you noticed all of the members of Judgment Day are really cool with Balor and or with Mysterio? Dom is like closer to JD and Carlito, but Finn is sort of
Except for
keeping
maybe
space.
Raquel. We don't really get how Raquel feels.
No, but I'm talking with the men.
Yeah.
Finn is starting to like do things. Like we'll get into the part of the finish, but let's just say Dom and Penta started out with some really cool Hurricane Ranas and some
Oh,
high
yeah.
flying stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, guys,
Dom is fun.
if you see me adjusting myself, it's because of the bad hip, and which, of course, bugs my legs too. So, yeah. I got to try to stay comfy as much as possible.
No hip tosses for Jack for the near future,
No, 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 not
or
for no.
chairs to the hip.
Yes, or chairs shots. Yeah, no chair shots.
What about thumbtacks?
No.
Legos?
No.
Legos?
No, those suckers hurt. Have you
We
ever
could
stepped on a
build.
Lego? Those suckers
What,
hurt.
we could get the pieces and like build you a new hip. No? Okay. Anyways,
None of
great.
those jokes.
This match was not going to be like a classic Mania style match because we kind of knew what was coming. And Jack knows something called Latino cheese.
I'm sorry. I saw that shirt when Balor was wearing it this last Monday. I'm like, if I find that, I must have that. So, of course, Jack got that shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even care that it says Dirty Daddy Dom, I think is what it says on the back. I don't even care about that part.
I think it's funny because you could
Hilarious.
play the heel. I will say we had some shenanigans. Out came Carlito, Balor,
JD.
JD McDunhole, and
No,
McDunhole.
it's McDumbass.
Wait, now you changed it again. Okay.
No, it's always no, it's not Dunghole. You're the one that called him McDunhole. I called him McDumbass.
No, you called him something else.
What did I also call him? I
Mick
know
A-hole. That's what you normally call him.
McA-hole. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's McA-hole as well. McDumbass works too.
But
His
I
last
call
name makes it too dang easy.
McDunhole. I call McDunhole because McDonough is close to. But anyways, um,
Yeah, I got it.
they all come down to the ring. Balor has a chance to take out Penta, but he decides to grab a chair and stall. The question is, was it intentional to try to get Dom disqualified? That is the question, story
Yeah,
wise. What is Balor trying to help his opponents beat him?
yeah. Now,
So there's
if
some
he would have
tension.
caused a DQ, it wouldn't have done the exaggerated, unless he was grabbing the chair to, hit hoping Penta moves and hits Dom, because Dom was the one holding him, if I remember
Right.
correctly.
Yes.
So, could he have been trying to,
No, it was either Dom or JD. I'll have to rewatch
yeah,
that
I
back.
can't remember if it was
But
John or if
anyways,
it was JD.
so they get caught with the chair, and the referee
No,
says,
it was
"You."
JD because Dom was, I
Yeah,
think, in
yeah.
the ring or something.
The referee looks at them and goes, "You, you're
You
out."
out of here. Even if Carlito really didn't do anything wrong, he
Carlito never
still
does
gets
anything.
tossed.
Let's just be honest. He's just kind of there.
It's
He's
just,
trying to
yeah,
play.
Carlito.
Carlito's just trying to get the DLC for 2K. That's it. But
Yeah, he's got to be
so
able to pay for the DLC.
they get kicked out. Balor goes to get up on the apron as he's on his way out, and El Grande Americano shoves Penta off the top rope.
We all know who El Grande Americano is.
Yeah, the Great Khali. It's obvious. Just the
No,
body type. You could tell it's a Great Khali. Or is it
no,
Mark
it's
Henry?
definitely Chad Gable. Come on.
Oh, no, it's not.
It is totally Gable. First of all, he wears an American-made singlet, an American-made mask. He has the same tattoo as Gable on the back of his neck. Yeah, it's Gable. We all know it.
You know what? It actually might be Ivy Nile. I mean, it's hard to say. Well, there's a lot of guesses as far as who. It could be Little Jimmy. Well, no, our truth said it wasn't Little Jimmy, so not Little Jimmy.
Yeah, you know,
But-
Little Jimmy's freak.
But anyways, El Grande cost Penta the match. Dom hits the frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Still the chicken tendy champion.
Chicken dinner champion. Yes.
I wonder what dipping sauce he prefers. What's your go-to dipping sauce if you have chicken?
I'm a barbecue sauce guy.
Same, or honey mustard. Either one of those two is fine.
Honey mustard's not bad either. I usually go barbecue, but now Angel, who is not within earshot currently.
I am. I can hear you just fine.
No, I don't know if they can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear her.
Oh, thank you. She prefers ranch dressing with her chicken tenders.
Yes, very much so.
Hey, it's not like
No,
other things she said she likes to put.
No.
No, you want to get a no chant going. She
Delete.
likes,
I
Delete.
used to like to dip hot dogs in ranch dressing.
yes, she used to like to dip hot dogs in ranch dressing.
Okay, I'm good.
You didn't see what he did, but it was funny. Oh, that was funny. Yes, she did that apparently.
We
I did
had
not know about
a teacher in high school. Whenever you said something that he thought was crazy, he would run out in the hallway and yell really loud and then come back in. So I was paying tribute to him because he's gone now, but he was great. He did that. But no, hot dogs and ranch. She's the true heel. She is the true heel of this video.
That was
Okay.
just funny.
So
All right.
great match. Great. Well,
Yeah.
I have to say it was a good match. They played on the crowd. They knew how to time it.
Yeah.
Judgment Day is not the same dominant force they were with Rhea and Damien. Let's just be honest.
Damien, yeah.
They're still
Without
good,
them in there. Still good.
but it feels like they need to come to an end soon.
Yeah.
I see Dom and Balor heading for a SummerSlam clash because they're slow burning this from what we saw last night. So I think we're going to see a SummerSlam defense, Dom versus Balor.
Yes.
All right, go to the next match.
Yeah, but we forgot to tell you how our Grande Americano took out Penta. He hit him with a solid steel head, aka the piece of metal he has hidden in his mask.
No, it's because he can't see that good. He has to wear contacts, I think. I think whoever this El Grande is has poor vision.
All right. Well, next match, which was this match, I didn't have high hopes for, but it surprised me, which is Gunther versus Pat McAfee.
The Ring General.
I mean, the story going into this match was the good part. I just didn't know if, because Pat McAfee does not have an extensive wrestling background. Let's be honest. He's put on some good
My
matches over the years.
my first memory of McAfee was when he wrestled Adam Cole and he went from the ground to the top rope in one jump. And I was like, oh my God, this guy can go. Oh, 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 oh,
You set yourself up
oh.
for that one.
No, okay. So McAfee, the story going in, Gunther did one heel thing. He had Michael Cole initially. He was going for the sleeper, and McAfee broke it up, but then he actually hit McAfee from behind. So he took the coward's way out and like got him in a cheap submission from behind. So that is
Yeah,
one thing. Gunther does do heel antics, but there's a
not
reason
often.
why they call him the ring general. So McAfee comes out, the crowd is going crazy, right? And it all depends. This whole bring McAfee into a match only works if you can get behind his character. St. Louis was definitely behind him.
Oh yeah, he totally came out wearing a Colts jersey though. It didn't have the
Yes.
Colts logo on it, but it was a Colts jersey.
And then Gunther came out and he was getting booed out of the building. There was more boos in this than a Halloween ghost party. You know, it was just a lot of
Oh yeah,
booing.
and
What?
and it was funny because now we started to antagonize him at the very beginning of the match. You tapped out. You
You
tapped.
Yeah, we got that chant going, and at first he was like, because there was only a few people doing it, he was like, but then later in the match, more people were doing it to get under his skin to try to buy McAfee time,
When
and
we
it
were
worked.
doing it at the very beginning, I think it was Wade, because I've already rewatched it. Wade acknowledges it, like, that's probably not the brightest move to antagonize him right now. I'm like, yeah, you're probably not wrong.
Oh, I need to rewatch it. But what the part that fired up Pat? There's a point where Gunther pats him on the head, like "good boy," and McAfee
That was
smiles.
hilarious.
McAfee decks him. I tell you what, McAfee took those chops and started chopping back. And I looked at Jack and I said, "You do not want to go chop for chop with Gunther. That's the last guy."
No. Well, I wouldn't want to go chop with Penta either,
Or Ray
apparently,
Phoenix.
according to Gunther
Or Ray Phoenix.
or Ray Phoenix or any of the Mexicans, apparently.
Right, the Taco Bell parking lot, dude, they chop the shit out of you. If you get there, if they get your order wrong, just say thank you. Oh no, that's Waffle House, but they just hit you with the pan. Anyways,
Oh, we're bad for that.
the crowd was hot. Gunther got heat. You know what my favorite thing he does? He was beating up McAfee and Cole was trying to like cheer him from his seat at one point, and Gunther holds the rope down like, come on in here. He invites him into the ring. I love that Gunther is like he's an old school heel. He reminds me of like Million Dollar Man. Although here's the thing with Gunther. He doesn't cheat. He just says, hey, I'm a great wrestler. Get in here and let me kick the crap out of you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Now my question is, where's Ludwig been? Ludwig.
Well, it's probably been Tiffany time on his watch. Maybe his watch got stuck on to Tiffany time.
Real.
No,
but in all actuality,
Ludwig was on Raw a lot when him, Penta, and Pete Dunne were doing the
yeah, and then he just like disappeared. Did he get injured?
I think what they're doing is they're trying to rotate who's on different shows. So I think he'll be back.
Yeah, or he could be injured too.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I'll let you look that up. The crowd was hot for this one. McAfee was getting chanted a lot. People were kind of getting into the match. This is the match I told Jack. I said, I feel like I'm 5 again because there's the spot where Cole tries to encourage McAfee when he's in a submission, and McAfee's crawling to the ropes. Gunther gets him back to the center of the ring. Cole's still cheering him on, and you thought he was passed out because the referee checked his hands. He did not respond for a second, and then all of a sudden he started like twitching and coming to life. But when Cole grabs Gunther's leg and holds it down to prevent him from being able to kick out. And Gunther still, for just a split second, I thought, oh my God, McAfee's going to pull this off. Cole's holding down Gunther's leg. And 1, 2, we were all counting. And then boom, at the last second, Gunther gets the kick out. And I think me and you looked at each other like, oh shit, this isn't good. Because we thought with Cole's assist, that was going to be the end of it. And the crowd did start cheering for Wade because they were hoping Wade was going to hit
Oh, yeah.
Gunther with a move. But yeah, Cole getting involved was so cool because Cole does not get involved with matches very often.
Okay, so I can't find anything that Ludwig is injured.
They just don't have plans right now, probably.
Yeah, they just don't have him on TV, which would have been weird because he totally would have fit in this feud very well.
What you could have had happen was Ludwig comes out and then Wade stops him from interfering, so it's more of a fair fight.
Yeah.
And that could lead to like a Wade-Ludwig match down the road, but I don't know if Wade even wants to wrestle him yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that he does. I've heard that he doesn't. You don't know.
But I will say the crowd was really into this one, and like I said, when Cole grabbed Gunther's leg, you thought for just 1 second McAfee was going to get that.
Yeah, I know when he hit that single leg, I was like, yeah. I said, he's like, you should have grabbed the other leg, Michael.
Like, come on. Yeah, but he was trying to also say squatted down. The referee wouldn't see it. If he grabbed both legs, it might have given it away more.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's my only thinking. But like, he grabbed the leg, and like I thought it was over. And McAfee, people gave him heck. They said he can't even jump over the ropes anymore. That is, since he doesn't wrestle that often, it's something he's been able to do in the past. And to Gunther's credit, Gunther didn't like laugh. He didn't like make it a big deal. He let McAfee still hit his move because even though he tripped a little bit, he was still able to recover really quick.
Oh yeah, he recovered that thing quick. It's almost like that they did that on purpose.
So Gunther chopped the hell out of him.
Oh, he did though. Oh, I saw the picture. Did you send that to me or did Brian send that to me?
I think Viper sent that to you.
Yeah. Ow.
Or I might have on TikTok. But
no, it wasn't TikTok, it was Facebook.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been him. So that was a hell of a, because he sent it to me too. That was a hell of a chop. And to McAfee's credit, after Gunther gets the win here, which he passed out, he did not tap out. So you can say he didn't tap out like Gunther. Unlike Gunther, who tapped out. Jay, you tapped out. So after Gunther gets the win, you thought he was going to attack Michael and Pat, but he actually gave him a little salute, like, you've earned my respect, and he walked out of the ring. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
This was actually a better match than I thought it was going to be. It was more of a an event though, because like the fans are really behind McAfee.
Oh yeah. This match, as I said, was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. This was probably, there was no match I disliked, actually.
Oh, no, me neither.
Triple H is doing, and I've told this, Jack and I use this phrase a lot. He's using what I call the NXT formula. 5 matches, 2.5 hours. It gives you enough to where you're like, that was great, but then it also makes you go, that wasn't so long to where I'm tired. It's, hey, I want to see what happens next. I want more. So when they have a show that goes 2.5 hours, 3 hours even, and they end it right there, and it makes you go, oh, that was just enough to where if there would have been that, I want to see more. So then you're excited to watch Monday Night Raw and keep the stories going. So Triple H has done a good job with the formula because it started at 6 and it got out at, what was it, 8:40, 8:30, 8:40?
Yeah, 8:30, 8:40.
Because it said on the cock there, it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, the cock.
The cock.
All right, let's go to the main event of the evening. I'll take care of this. You have the hometown boy, Randy Orton, going up against John Cena. You can't see me.
Where'd you go?
You can't see me.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, I could actually make that actually happen, but let's not.
You're back. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, now upon the entrances, Randy, that crowd was loud as heck. They put up the little decimal point thing, and I don't know how actually accurate that was, but they said at one point it got to 115 decibels.
I believe it.
Oh, I believe it too. But I
The
don't know
thing,
exactly.
when you're live, the music's really loud, and I was hoping in my head, I'm like, I'm hoping a few people sing his theme song. I'm not much of a singer, but the whole audience was doing it.
Oh, yeah. See, Randy was enjoying that.
How long do you think they played his song?
Oh, it was a good couple of minutes there. It was definitely longer than what it normally is.
Yeah, everybody was singing along. We're having a good time. Orton's in the ring. Everyone's cheering for him. They announced this is their third face-off at Backlash, I do believe.
Yeah.
And they've been in the ring. It said it was a lot. But
Oh, yeah.
they're singing the song, and then Cena comes out, and you got John Cena sucks.
Very loudly. We let him know that he sucks. You still got the Cena rocks chance on occasion, but
Yeah.
no, the sucking chants were louder. Oh god, that sounded wrong.
Oh, I have to tell you guys a funny story before we get into the match. There's a moment where I was trying to get a picture of Orton on the post doing his pose, and there was a guy in front of me put his hand up. It looked like he was grabbing Randy Orton's balls, so I didn't take the picture. But he had his hand like this, and it looked like he was trying to grab it. It looked like he was grabbing his nuts from the way of the picture, so I didn't take the picture. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think Randy's wife would appreciate that.
Yeah, what was the
She
dude
didn't
doing?
like the time that Alexa. Well, supposedly on Twitter, she did not like the time that Alexa Bliss did the split-legged pin on top of him.
Oh yeah, whenever she covered his Viper, I remember that.
Yeah, I think she was just playing along the storyline or something. I don't think she was actually upset about that.
No,
Just
because
like everybody on Twitter, Facebook, and all that, they keep saying, "Oh, Booker T's wife's probably upset every time he says that thing with Stephanie Valkyra." Yeah, that thing. She's probably not that upset about it.
No,
'Cause it probably wouldn't-
I told Jack whenever Booker does that, he might need a cigarette afterwards. But
you might need
no,
something.
I will say it was such an incredible crowd. Randy comes out, Cena comes out. There was a guy next to me who had too many drinks. He kept bumping me with his belt, and I'm like, oh my god. And he got me with his sign at one point, like a little paper cut. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But those things hurt. Luckily, it hit like my shirt, so it didn't. It actually, I still felt it, but it didn't like bust me open or anything. It was just kind of like one of those annoying. He kept bumping into me, and I'm like, and the dude was way taller than me, so I'm like, oh my god, this guy is kind of annoying, but I'm gonna let it slide because we're at a wrestling event. It happens.
Yeah.
And he didn't spill beer on me by accident. So that was cool. So crowd's hot. This match is about to start, and it starts out a little slow, but that's how these Randy and Cena have the experience, and they've worked together so much they can almost anticipate what the other's going to do.
Yeah. Now, I will say that Randy did pull a better match out of Cena than Cody did.
Yeah.
But that's because Randy's not going to let Cena foam in, do this, whatever he was doing at Mania. That psychological game he was playing with Cody.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. When Cena came back, he was in the Rumble match.
Yeah.
He was in the Chamber. Was the Cody match with him the first one-on-one he has since he'd been back?
Yes.
So I think he's knocked the dust off, and when he got him with Orton, and it was Orton's hometown, Orton was going to say, come on, we're in my home city. We got to
represent.
Yeah. And the crowd was loud. People were on their feet pretty much the whole match, which sucked because I felt bad for you because you couldn't stand very long. And so you weren't able to really see a lot, but we did see the monitor. And there were parts where the fans sat.
For the monitor.
The fans, the security did at the beginning a good job, but they can't control the whole crowd. There needed to be like a rule where, hey, sit down during the match. You can pop during a finish or like when you a high flying move, but sit your butts down.
The part that really got me annoyed was when people were trying to record the entire matchup standing up.
Yes.
You guys shouldn't be doing that, period.
What I want when I go to a wrestling show, I want to get a few good pictures. I want to be able to just get a few good pictures. I don't do video. The only time I did a video, I think, was when Daniel Bryan gave me the high five when he was walking by me and gave me the high five. That was it.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't do videos. I just like to get pictures of the wrestler because it's cool to see it in person. It's way different with lighting and the effects. But this was a good match. It was back and forth. There were a lot of AAs and a lot of RKOs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not to mention the one moment where Randy, all the referees are knocked out. They had like 2 of them. And for some reason, the SmackDown general manager, Nick Aldis, and a bunch of the producers came out. And every one of those producers and Nick Aldis all got RKOs.
Yeah, and the fans were going nuts.
Oh, yeah, we were loving it.
They got louder and louder. And then at the beginning in the Fatal 4-Way, fans were saying, we want tables. Well, they pulled out a table. Randy went to look under the ring. There wasn't a table on that side, but there was like, he ended up getting a table. But you know what my favorite moment, one of my favorite moments was? Randy takes a drink of the Prime. And at first he's like letting it in his mouth and he's sitting there like, okay. And then all of a sudden he makes this face like, oh, what the hell is this?
Oh, that part was great. And that is not the first time he did that. I think when he faced Logan, he did the same thing.
I think so.
I think it was a match against Logan. He was facing somebody. It was a one-on-one match. I think
probably Logan. But yeah, when he takes the sip of the drink, I was just dying. But let's see. A lot of finishers, a lot of kick outs. Yeah. Cena dominated early. He hit like 2 or 3 AAs, and Randy was getting his butt kicked for a while.
Oh yeah, he ended up eating like 4 or 5 AAs or FUs, if you want to call it that.
Right, and then Randy finally got some offense with some RKOs, and Cena kicked out. There was one point where the referee was down. They brought out a second referee. There's a kick out, and then that referee gets taken out.
Yep.
And it went crazy. And then, just when you thought Randy
was about to kick.
Cena did the went for the kick. He was mocking Orton, and then Randy goes for the kick. Who would show up? R-Truth, trying to save his childhood hero.
Which led to the finish of the match, because after Randy RKO'd Truth, he got a thrust to the balls.
The way you said that. Okay, so
and
just
then chip across the noggin.
Yeah, he hit the low blow, which the Cena's been doing that lately because he can't win on his own. He hits the low blow, gets the AA, gets the win. The thing is,
no, he didn't hit the AA. He hit the championship across the noggin. There was no AA there.
Yeah, that's right. He hit him with the belt, gets the win. And I will say, now Jack, we can safely say this. When they do low blows, they actually try not to hit them there. They either try to get the butt or the thigh. Or,
this part right here is actually what's hitting them in the balls.
But they try not to hit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They try to hit like the thigh.
Yeah.
Or the butt. Or the leg or whatever. But sometimes I'm sure they accidentally do.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they do.
But anyways, Cena gets the win here. And there was a moment where Cena is like kind of leaving, and the fans started, after the match is over, fans started cheering, "Thank you, Cena." And Cena paused for a second, just sort of like he's having this internal battle. Like he has become the thing he hated and would never wanted to become. But then, so he's kind of back and forth. And it's kind of like that saying, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he's the villain now. But like, you can tell he was struggling. He wins, but then
that was after his promo.
He cut his promo. Yeah, he cut the promo
where he said, "Cut my shit." Kind of pissed off, mind you. He said, "I don't need any music. I just need competition." I thought somebody was going to come out and attack him there.
I thought either an attack or just stand at the entrance to reveal who his next opponent was going to be for like the next pay-per-view.
But I think we found out who his next opponent's going to be at the next event.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get to that. So everything ends. So they're at the post show and Cena's talking. And who comes out but R-Truth? And he's telling them how, I've always had your back, even when people say you suck and you can't wrestle. Which we did tell Cena that last night, ironically. Last night.
No, you're right. Cena said, you cross the line, say one more thing, and there will be, consequences. And he did. Truth spoke again.
Yep. He said something, and he got what did I say? RKO. AA through the table.
Yes.
Well, apparently it's probably going to be Truth versus Cena, probably for the title, I would assume, at Saturday Night Main Event.
Oh, you think it'll be a Saturday Night's Main Event or Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I think it'll be Saturday Night's Main Event because Cena is supposed to be there.
Okay. I will say this about Cena. The story's great, but when you look at this, Cody didn't want to be a heel, so they made Cena a heel.
Yeah.
And that led to Jay being able to win the Rumble and all that. So it's so cool how everything plays out. People criticized it. I was like, let's see what the full picture is. And I'm liking the full picture, but Cody's getting booed anyways as a face. So I almost wonder if Cody comes back as a heel and cheats like Cena did to win, and then Cena goes face at the end.
Well, also because of this extended time off, it could actually help turn the fans back to Cody.
Yeah, I'm not one of the Cody booers. I'm not going to boo Cody.
No, we're not a Cody hater.
No. Whoa! So funny story. I did that to my coworker. She's a wrestling fan, and she was standing there. I came behind her. I yelled, "Whoa!" really loud. She goes, "You scared me. What do you have to say for yourself?" And I said, "My father said." And she was just dying. But no, Randy Cena, that crowd was like really into it. The match was great. The spots with all the RKOs was amazing. When he went to go for the punt, everyone was on their feet. Like, it was just so cool to see.
Yeah, we wanted to see
gets
Cena
the
get his
win.
head punted off. We
made the comment in the modern era of wrestling, there's longer title runs. I don't think anyone's gonna get to 17 again.
No, I don't think they are.
For the men's, at least. There's a shot for one woman to get to 17, but I don't know. I don't think the men's.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't discuss that. But the thing is, though, Cena's got the record, period, everybody. Stop saying, oh, Ric Flair actually has like 23 world titles or something. You have to realize something. WWE does not recognize all these little indie promotions and like NWA, MLW. They don't recognize that. So those title reigns do not count towards your total.
Right. And the fact that Cena did this with one company.
One company. Yes. One company. So Kurt Angle was actually talking about this. I think it was with Chris Van Vliet. If you haven't ever watched anything of his, go watch him. He's awesome. Go watch him. Go. Actually, finish this video and then go watch his stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, finish the video first, then go watch him. Yeah, he said that was unfathomable that he's done so many world titles. Not only when he was still at 16. The fact that he got 17, whoo.
I still remember that match because him and AJ had one of the best matches for him to get to 16.
Oh yeah, that was.
Didn't know if Cena was going to get there. Killer match. Do you think when we look back at his career, because last night after the match was over, the fans started cheering, "Thank you, Cena." You realize how much he did for the company, all the great matches, all the great rivals. Orton, Triple H, JBL. Shawn Michaels. He wrestled a lot of names.
Triple H, Big Show. We could go on and on. The Rock, Edge. Yeah.
He had some great rivalries. And he also faced great heels in his life, Nikki Bella. But no. Anyways, Cena. The Let's Go Cena.
I think Cena was actually the heel in that relationship, actually.
Yeah, the Let's Go Cena sucks chance, that's been around for a while. Regardless of what you think of him, Cena's one of the best to ever do it. And we know Cena actually doesn't have that much of an ego. He's actually very down to earth.
Yeah, he's actually a very humble guy. Now, don't walk up to him if he's at a restaurant and ask for an autograph, because he's going to tell you to get lost.
Right.
It's going to be get lost. He's not going to be F off, because he's not that mean. He will tell you to get lost very politely.
I will say,
any wrestler at a restaurant, don't walk up and ask him for an autograph, or any celebrity. Leave him the hell alone.
Yes.
Paparazzi, that goes for you too. If they're
For
having a private business meeting or something, not everybody needs to know about it.
right. Okay. So I will say My favorite match of the night, from like I said, a wrestling technical standpoint, was Becky Lyra. But as a show performance and the crowd being a spectacle, I will say Randy and Cena was like the best for that one. So let's go through real quick and say what we thought of each match. If it was good, bad. Okay, so the Fatal 4-Way.
I'll just say it now. Great. All the matches were good. I don't think they had a bad match on the card.
No, because you're not looking at every match from a technical point. You're okay. Did they make a comeback? Were the fans into it? Were there chants going to get the person getting beat up back into it? Like all those factors. And yes, like McAfee was getting beat up, the fans started cheering him.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about some of these people that compare wrestlers. Not every wrestler is a technical wrestler.
No.
So you can't compare them like that.
But it would be boring if they all worked the same style too.
Exactly.
But you know what's sad?
You gotta have your high flyers. You gotta have your brawlers. You gotta have your powerhouses.
You know what's so sad though?
What?
Last night we saw El Grande Americano on the car, but we haven't seen Chad Gable. No Chad Gable at Backlash. It's sad. I'm very sad by it. I think he's talented, deserving. But they give El Grande Americano a showing on a pay-per-view over Chad Gable.
Really?
Sucks.
Really?
Are you the Miz?
Yeah, I gave you the Miz. That's right. I gave Billy the Miz.
Oh, by the way, too, we will at some point, we won't tell you when, but at some point we are planning on doing a video of the pros and cons of going to a show live versus watching it at home, like what the good things are and what the downsides are.
Another thing we will be doing a video on eventually. We are not recording it tonight, but who are the royal families of wrestling? I mean, Cody Rhodes gave us an inspiration. We got to do it.
We got to do that one. We also are, this is a big one, the top 50 greatest male wrestlers of all time. And we'll probably do, I'm going to say 10 to 20 female wrestlers.
Yeah.
At some point. But what we're going to do,
that will be at some point.
We're gonna tell you what our criteria are and what we're gonna do. The plan is we're gonna have auto bids. These are wrestlers. There's no argument that I can say that no, they're either one of us can say they're not in the top 50, and then we'll have ones that we say maybe. We'll put them. We'll write them down to the side, and we'll bring the discussion back when we're getting to like the last 10 people. So that's kind of the plans. We are going to be doing more wrestling on Broship though.
Yes, we are going to do more wrestling talk. Bear with us. May take some time.
It will. But hey, Jack, by the way, what there was something you talked about doing. You know, we have WrestleMania, we have SummerSlam, we have Survivor Series, we have Royal Rumble, but there's something the fans need to see. Figure Mania! We're going to be bringing you action figure. Wrestling action figure mania, where Jack will show you some of his greatest wrestling figure finds.
All of them. But I will say this: that is probably going to be a multi-parter because I've got a lot.
He does.
Yes, I've got. If you guys must know, I don't know how big the totes are. Angel, can you say?
What?
How big would you say those totes are that I have the action figures in downstairs?
I want to say like a medium or a large.
Yeah, a medium or large size totes full of action figures. In their boxes, mind you. Well, there's like 3 up here that aren't in their boxes right now, but... No, wait. 2, because one is technically has already ever been seen on this channel, and he's technically not a wrestling action figure, even though I would totally let him hang out with the wrestling action figures. And that's my G.I. Joe Sergeant Slaughter figure.
That's an order, maggot! But I'm sorry, I had to. I also am getting back into wrestling a little bit bigger. I mean, I have been since I was 3, but I'm starting to get bigger into it because
you kind of hit a low point at one point. Oh, wait, no, you're actually over there. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
over there.
What are you saying? What did you say?
Nothing. Just being a dork over here, like usual.
No, what I was saying was we're starting to get back into it.
Did you guys see that?
When did you ever stop? No, we're both dorks. But no, what I was saying was
Hey!
I didn't do anything.
Someone's over here being playful.
what I was trying to say is wrestling was at a low point for a while with Vince's booking. So
Oh,
it was
yes.
boring during
Agreed.
pay-per-views. So now that it's good again, Jack and I and Viper are starting to get into it more. So that's why we're going to be doing more wrestling content because it's starting.
We will try to get Viper involved.
Yes.
Try.
You never know
guys
when
know
he's going to
he's
show
clearly-
up. It might be now. It might be in a week. It might be in a year.
Never know.
One thing is certain: the Viper strikes out of nowhere.
I think Randy has copyright on that. I like to
No.
say he slithers in and out when he feels like it.
Yes. But wrestling has gotten better. WWE is on fire right now. I think even cards like this, they're able to show us that, hey, it doesn't have to be made in a Rumble to be an exciting card. I mean, look at what was it? Not that long ago. Didn't they do Backlash in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah. Oh God, that was a killer card. Yes.
Savio Vega got a big pop. Carlito got a big pop.
That was
now the only pop Carlito gets is when he goes to the vending machine. So, things change over the course of many years in wrestling.
good one.
Oh, I like Carlito, but
Yeah,
no, this was a
fun to pick
good.
on him.
We gave it a 5 out of 5 going in. A lot of people expected a 2.5 to 3 out of 5. I give it a 5 out of 5. This was actually good because we didn't have too many matches.
No, I think when Carlito came out last night, I do believe he's like, Carlito, that ain't cool.
I think I did say that.
Did you say that? I think I said it too.
I think we both might have said it because I remember saying that ain't cool.
I think you said it, then I might have said it, but I know we both said it.
We both said it. You
All
see, we sometimes when the guys get together, we go from 3 brains to 1.
Unfortunately, and sometimes that drives somebody else up the wall.
Yeah, I don't know how Angel puts up with us.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's ask her. Angel, how do you put up with us half the time? I think she's engrossed in her book. Hold on, give me a sec.
That's how she does it. No, stop. She just answered us. That's how she puts up with us by looking at her book and saying, "The hell with these guys."
That is true.
That is true. That is true. And picking and being playful with me like she's being right at this very second.
I did get a new Switch game. Or we did.
Yeah, well, that can be talked about off camera.
Yeah.
Well, off recording. I'm being poked right now, guys. See, I tell you guys that she's playful. And you normally don't see it. But here you go.
How much caffeine / sugar did she have today?
Not that much, I promise you.
Half this bottle?
Half that bottle plus whatever she had at IHOP.
Half?
This is from yesterday.
That's like enough. One sip of that will keep her awake for 8 days straight, and then she'll sleep for 20 days straight.
No.
No, not that much. But okay, let's stop the recording here. Peace, guys. We're out.
Take it easy. That was Backlash. It was a good event.
Yes.